What is going on, my friends? Welcome to the next episode of the Fit and Healthy Sioux Falls Show. We are bringing on an awesome guest today. He is a coach right here at Fit Body Bootcamp. He is our facility leader at our West location, as well as taking on some now new responsibilities, but we'll let him dive into that. You guys, get ready as we welcome my good friend, Coach Jasen, to the show. Jasen, what is up, my man?
Another day, man. Another day.
Another day. In fact, July 4th is when we are releasing this episode. But man, I've been excited to have you on here. This is the first episode of a new series, Meet the Coach. And so I kind of let the audience know before we dove in that you are the facility leader at our West location.
Yep.
Explain Fit Body West a little bit. Like if you could explain the vibes over at Fit Body West, what comes to mind with that?
There is a whole lot of fun.
A whole lot of fun.
Our coaches over there, they know how to have a good time. They know how to work you out. They know how to make you sweat all at the same time, keeping you smiling. Keep you enjoying the workouts. And really, I would say the community there too is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Everyone's been really coming together lately. Just kind of like creating these small groups when they work out, really bonding together. And then I actually see a lot of Facebook posts with some of the clients on there where they're actually hanging out outside of the gym.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I think that's so cool just because we're not only, getting better, getting more fit, we're actually building community. People are coming together and like realizing that they're not in this alone.
Yeah.
That there's people like in this journey with them that they can rely on, lean on, and more than just fitness and life things too.
Yeah.
They can share those troubles that they're having at home, with family, with work, anything like that. They have those people they can rely on, which they may not have had before they came to Fit Body.
Yeah. I love that. I was actually talking to a client just after the Murphy event, and she was telling me that one of her favorite things of the event was that we had that whole area where they could sit down and just talk and just, she's like, the community atmosphere and the community aspect of what we do at Fit Body. She said, hands down, that's my favorite thing.
Oh yeah.
Like, so we always kind of say people will come because they want results, but they stay because of the community.
Yep, absolutely.
Because the truth is, and we launched a episode a while back, a couple weeks ago, so with Pastor Jacob Lewis, and we just talked about, loneliness and how we can really get into a pit when you're lonely.
Yep.
And so being surrounded by people, so you bringing up that community is just so strong over there at the West location is just awesome to hear. For anyone that maybe doesn't know, where is the West location located?
So it's on the T. Well, I've been told this is the wrong way to say it, but I call it the T. Ellis Road.
Yeah.
And then 26th Street. If you go right, just in the same parking lot as Shenanigans. If you don't know where Shenanigans is at, go to the stoplight on T. Ellis on 26th. You'll see a big old Fit Body sign sitting right there.
That's right. That's awesome. And it's crazy because that part of town is honestly like a whole nother world.
It is.
And you live super close, right?
Yes.
And so really kind of cool, you guys, how I met Jasen is just wild. So people like pick a word of the year, or they'll pick different kind of like main themes of the year. My life kind of went in a whirlwind the end of last year. And so I decided with my faith and kind of my beliefs that, the word that I was going to pick for 2024, well, it's two words. I've been reminded by a lot of people that's actually two words, CJ, but it was God's plan. And it just so happened that I ran into you. So if you're willing, share how you found out about Fit Body.
That's a long story. I mean,
Yeah.
Where do you want me to start? Like at where I think at the beginning is for me?
Sure. Yeah. Because to be honest, I don't even know. Like, I don't know where you think the beginning is versus where the beginning is. And so I'm going to learn with the rest of them. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I would consider where this journey really started was honestly at the end of my marriage with my ex-wife.
Yep.
she ended up leaving. I was at home alone. We had a daughter, so obviously we're trying to co-parent together while trying to work through this.
Yep.
That was in the beginning of 2023. Fast forward, going about probably about 5-6 months, I was making some really bad life choices, very destructive, self-destructive habits.
Yeah.
Ended up, I was working at a very, very good job, making very good money. Decided, this just wasn't the lifestyle I wanted anymore. It wasn't a very healthy work environment.
Yeah.
So I decided, I want to go a different path where I'm going to see a brighter future at with a different construction company.
Yep.
So I ended up applying for them, got the job.
Yep.
Ended up failing a test with them.
Yep.
And then ended up having to, obviously not have a job. So I was jobless. I was just putting my house on the market.
Yeah.
Because obviously I couldn't afford it anymore.
Yep.
So I'm kind of sitting there for about 2 weeks without a job, bills to pay, a house to work on.
Yeah.
And I was just completely lost.
Yeah.
Nowhere to go. And there honestly for me was not a future in sight besides the fact of I have to just keep moving forward.
Exactly.
And the only reasonable option that I thought of at the time was I need to go to God with this.
Yeah.
I've been trying to do it on my own for too long. It wasn't working.
Yeah.
Obviously it wasn't working. I failed as a husband, failed as a father. And honestly, I saw myself, I was a failure of a man.
Yeah.
And that was,
It can be a hard spot to be in.
it was really tough to come to terms with, understand like you have to do better in the future.
Yeah.
So during those 2 weeks, I was working on the house, actually picked up a couple handyman jobs thankfully from a few guys that needed a extra hand on the job.
Yep.
Ended up reaching out to one of the pastors over at Embrace here in town.
Yeah.
Through Instagram. And that was an odd story in itself because I was actually working inside my daughter's bedroom, repainting the trim.
Yeah.
And I remember just like sitting down and just crying thinking about all the things I could have done better, all the things I could have changed.
Yeah.
And
It hit like a wall, like an emotional wall.
It more felt like a train
Yeah.
than a wall. The train hit me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm sitting there crying, and I can still hear God saying it, like, reach out to Pastor Adam.
Yep.
I obviously didn't have his number. I reached out to him through Instagram. He told me that 3 different times. I told him no the first 2 times. And I said, okay, I guess I'll do it on the 3rd try.
Yeah.
So I reached out to Pastor Adam, and it came up with a automated message. So I'm like,
Great.
well, yeah, that was really helpful, God. Well, at the bottom it said, reach out to this other pastor down here.
Yep.
He'll get in touch. So I reached out to the other pastor.
Yep.
We met with him. I talked about, what was going on in my life, where I was headed, what had happened. And he goes, there's actually the Friday before I met you.
Yep.
He's like, there's usually a men's group that usually meets here at this location at 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. So you just missed them. So I'm like, okay. Well, he goes, they're having one next week and you should totally attend it. I'll link you up with one of the guys there. He'll kind of introduce you to everyone. So a week goes by. It was actually my daughter's birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember going in there. It was raining. I just got done working out at the gym. I'm still in like my workout clothes. I didn't bring anything extra to change into.
Yeah.
And here I actually running about 3 or 5 minutes late, and everyone's kind of circling. I'm like, oh, this isn't intimidating at all.
Yeah.
So I find my seat and we start talking. I don't remember what book we were going through, but at the end, I ended up opening up to these strangers.
Yeah.
No clue who they were.
Yeah.
Pretty much laying it out where I was in life.
Yeah.
And I remember everyone praying over me.
Yep.
And then you had come up to me afterwards saying, hey, I have a job opportunity for you if you're interested. And you told me, it was in the fitness industry. I'm like, I guess I've never actually worked in the fitness industry. I've always I've always worked out though. So I have a general idea of how to get things done.
Yeah.
And kind of from there, it was, going through the interview process, the mock session, and then going, kind of finishing up all the house stuff.
Yeah.
And here I am.
Yeah. So wild. Because what I think is crazy too is that in the way in which the world works, we're all living our own life, right? So while you're living that life, while you're going through that, obviously I was going through my life, and it was Wednesday of that same week when I met you at that men's group. We were fully staffed. We weren't hiring. And it just so happened on Wednesday that we had a coach let us know that she was going to be moving. And so very randomly, like we didn't have any idea, but all of a sudden on Thursday now, we have an up and coming job opening. But Wednesday we didn't. So we found that out on Wednesday. Thursday now we do. I'm talking with Vicky. I'm like, we don't really have, we'd been kind of coasting as far as a team. We weren't like actively recruiting. And again, though, just knowing that, hey, we're going to figure this thing out. Go to men's group and meet you. And I told you that before I even talked to Vicky. Then I get a hold of Vicky. I was like, hey, Vicky, I met this dude. You can tell he works out just by the way how he looks. I mean, he definitely is a fit dude. He's never worked in fitness, but I told him that we're hiring, so he might be stopping by. But just wild, right? It was. And it just so happens too that you live closer to the west side, but we had then an opening at Central, not at West. So we went through that whole process, and we ended up hiring you as a coach for Central. The week that you were going to start, it just so happens that our head coach at West decides to put in his 2 weeks. And again, we had no idea that this was coming, but all of a sudden, so here it is on a Monday, you're going to be starting with us. You were supposed to be set to start at Central, but it just so happens that West would be more convenient for you as far as where you're located. Yep. And all of a sudden now we have a position open at West. And so we move you, like get a hold of you. Hey, would you rather actually coach at West? We just so happen to have a position come and we'll fill in Central somehow else. And so we move you to the West location. And if we just kind of hit the fast forward button, because so many crazy things have happened. Like, how long has it been? 9 months?
Actually, it's been July, June, May. 10 months.
June is before. Oh, you're going backwards.
I'm going backwards. Okay, so I got 10 months in.
10 months.
10
okay.
months.
I got it. And in 10 months, we hire you on as a coach. And then was with the weird turn of events, we end up moving you over to West. And then our facility leader at West ends up putting her notice in. And we're like, oh my goodness. So then we get a hold of another coach, and kind of just time-wise, it would make more sense. Like he's put in more time, obviously, than you have. Yep. But he is super content, Coach Ryan, with being the head coach and leading that front, and actually wasn't looking for the opportunity to run a facility, more so lead the coaches. And so he was content with where he was at. So then we opened up application for that within our team first. You applied for that. And we end up now having you as facility leader at West. You're on our leadership team. And it is just wild to see that. So if that's been 10 months, 11 months ago, you were jobless.
Oh, yeah.
11 months ago, you were jobless.
I had no idea this was the plan that God had for me.
No, neither did I. I had no clue that we would be here. But here, fast forward 11 months from jobless, you are now, it's me, you, Vicky, and Jensen. There's 4 of us that are on the leadership team that are leading these locations and working on continuing to grow them and just change lives here in our community. And it's been wild to see all of that.
It is.
So I did kind of give the audience a little preview that you're stepping into a couple new roles. And so you are stepping into kind of overseeing finance and HR. Yep. They're very new within the last month. How's that been going?
It's going good. It's stressful just because of the fact it takes time to learn new things.
Yeah.
And it seems like the responsibilities have actually increased. Yeah. But it seems like time doesn't do that, though. You can't get more time on the day.
No.
So it's been a challenge just because it seems like God wants to challenge you every single day of your life. Yeah. Not in a way to put you down and, keep you down. It's a way for you to grow. Yeah. And every time that I've gotten comfortable, saying I was comfortable with the coach. Yep. Well, time to be a facility leader. Yep. Had to grow into that position. still growing the position, still trying to, be the best leader that I can for that facility.
Yep.
Well, now it's like, okay, here's another plate for you to now work on.
Yeah.
So it's really learning and managing and balancing your life.
Yeah.
And knowing what's important, knowing what's going to make an effect on those around you in a positive way.
Yeah.
And honestly, just keeping moving forward.
Yeah. I kind of am wondering this here as you were talking. So here you are, not only brand new to Fit Body, but brand new to the fitness industry.
Yeah.
And so kind of this is a two-part question. One is, how long have you been like working on your own health and fitness?
I first started rigorously working out in the, I would say, summer of 2016.
Okay.
That was the year of my deployment over to Iraq and Kuwait.
Okay.
I had figured, this is my time to really focus in. I actually started kind of down in Texas where we were doing our pre-MOB training.
Yep.
Started, watching a lot of videos, just kind of working out. Got on like a free program, like, how do you work out for a beginner?
Yeah.
The one thing that it didn't cover though was nutritional side of things.
Yep.
So that kind of came later on down the road, but I really focused in on, how the body moves, how those muscles work together to move weight.
Yeah.
And then the whole fat loss kind of thing, that came more when I was about in country for probably about 6 to 8 months. I was in there and kind of got like, okay, I'm working out.
In Iraq?
In Iraq, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm working out, twice a day. I'm like, I'm not getting stronger. I've gotten bigger, but I'm just been kind of maintaining right now.
And were you looking to gain size, or were you looking to lose weight? Like where were you at? Like, what was your physique like when you started your fitness journey?
I was 180 pounds.
180 pounds.
180 pounds. I was skinny.
Okay.
Very, very
What do you
skinny.
weigh now?
I'm sitting about 230 right now.
230. So
Yeah.
put on about 50 pounds.
Yep.
Probably 49 pounds of muscle.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty close.
Okay.
Pretty
okay.
close.
Yeah.
I did realize then, I need to change up my diet habits.
Yeah.
When I ended up leaving country, I was 230 pounds. Downside is that my body fat percentage also increased.
Yeah.
I was good by my nutrition, but there was also a lot of snacks available on the Army buffet.
I'm sure. Like, what are you eating for snacks on the Army buffet?
They had cheesecake, they had cookies, ice cream. It was not. So this is actually back in Kuwait now.
Okay.
They didn't have that extensive of a buffet over in Iraq.
Sure.
But Kuwait, they had everything you had. They had seafood. They had American burgers, Italian
Sure.
pizza. So it was like, I just want to eat food, so I'm going to.
Yeah.
And they actually had 4 meals available during the day. They had the morning, the lunch, the evening dinner, and then they had midnight chow. Okay. Midnight chow was the best because you either got dinner or you got brand new breakfast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was eating a lot, and I wasn't really, super precise with my nutrition though.
Sure. So you've been really working on your health and fitness since like 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So we're almost a decade in. We're 2 years away from hitting that decade mark.
Mm-hmm.
And so they really say that if you can do something for 10 years, you can become like an expert at it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're almost an expert.
Almost.
We'll call you a pre-expert. So you're getting there. So keep it up. But so you now come into the fitness industry and you have all this knowledge that you've gained on your own, but all of a sudden now you head into this facility with hundreds of clients that don't know you,
Mm-hmm.
but all of a sudden now here you are as facility leader. How was that transition?
It was tough just because I love to challenge people, but I had to quickly understand that not everyone has the strength capabilities that I do.
Sure.
It was hard for me to transition from this, I would bench press, 200 some pounds. Well, some clients, they may to use quite a bit lighter weight.
Sure.
And that's okay, but I understand like their physical capabilities and how to effectively progress them through the weights.
Yep. So, and I know Coach Ryan definitely helped you a ton learn how to, because also too, there's something way different to be said about, well, one, personally working yourself out, but in a strength manner, where you're in a traditional gym, just moving weight, or Fit Body, where it's number one, it's not one-on-one, it's group.
Yep.
And then number two, it's more HIIT. It's high intensity interval training,
Yep.
which isn't just getting under that bar and pushing the weight. It's really a whole different game.
It is.
And so you've been just doing awesome diving in and learning. One of my favorite things is just your appetite to always be willing to take on more and always be willing to learn more.
Yes.
But now that you're in this role that you're in, life keeps moving, like you say. Recently married, and so congrats on that.
Thank you.
But so you find yourself here now. You are married, beautiful wife, beautiful family. You've got your daughter, you've got her son, and how as a family do you? Because I know Katie comes from a fitness background.
Yep.
She comes from CrossFit, and like CrossFit is her baby. She loves that.
That she does.
And that's the thing I love about fitness. And I think that you even found it in strength training. Like you're in love with going in there because it's a place that you can clear your mind. It's a place you can focus on you. And in this fast-paced world, we don't have many places where we do that.
No.
We're always doing something right in front of us, and we're not working on us.
Yep.
We're working in the mix of the busyness. So now you're married. You've got your daughter, her son combined together. How do you guys fit fitness or nutrition or health, active lifestyle into your now new family? How do you guys do it?
There's a lot of self-sacrifice.
Yeah.
I had to completely switch up my workout routines. That way she could get her workouts in too.
Do you mean like the timing?
Timing wise.
Okay.
Yep. So I would normally go at, super early in the morning or in the afternoon. But now we have to now trade off, who is available to go when, who's going to take care of the kids. There's a lot more planning involved.
Yep.
And that's kind of the biggest part about all this is just like planning ahead, hey, we're going to go work out these days. You're going to take care of the kids during this time.
Yep.
You're going to go work out at this time, and just, working together on it, and then just kind of pre-planning everything.
Yeah. So do you find, and I think I kind of already know the answer, but I don't want to lead the witness. Do you find though that when you do plan when you're going to be able to work out and plan the actual time and who's going to be watching the kids when, that it makes it easier to get your workouts in?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no like, oh, hey, I'm going to go work out. I mean, what do you mean you're going to go work out? We didn't talk about this.
Yeah.
I got to watch the kids. I already had plans. So it's like pre-planning, with your significant other is a huge part just because you're just communicating.
Yeah.
Communication is so key.
I think I actually gave a presentation on this. It's probably been probably 6 years ago now. But I titled the presentation. It was for a whole bunch of like nurses and doctor's assistants and whatnot. And I titled the presentation, Become the Doctor. And the reason that I titled it that is because when you think about a doctor, a lot of times, if you need to go be seen for something or whatever it is, you have to schedule an appointment. And many times it's like weeks, months. Sometimes I've heard of cases where it's like years, where you have to have this appointment scheduled because that's when the doctor is available. And for some reason, we live in this society or this world where we will plan these scheduled appointments with a doctor, but we won't plan or schedule appointments with ourselves.
Yep.
Right? We will plan or schedule something with anybody else. Shooting this episode, we planned it. It's been on the calendar. We put it on there. And so you and I both made it to this appointment. But the funny thing is that if we'll do it for the doctor, why won't we do it for ourselves? Like, why don't we plan, and not only plan, literally put it on your calendar?
Because, and it's going to be weird. It's going to be weird hearing this because we've been told not to do this, but you have to be selfish for yourself.
Yeah.
And not in a way where it's like, I want all this, but it's like, you have to be selfish and, what's going to be best for you.
Yeah. Speaking on that topic, I think that one of the biggest, just normalisms that this world has made normal is not being selfish. And again, like, you have to make sure that you're not taking this out of context, because you could and totally hear the wrong thing here. But if you truly understand that we are only able to be as good for those around us or the people around us that we are for ourselves, then we must learn to be selfish and first work on us.
Yeah.
You know, because it's that old adage of you can't fill someone else's cup out of an empty cup, right? So we have to be selfish, and not selfish in any of the negative ways that the world has. Like, the world tends to take certain words and then place their own definition on them.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so I've been having fun lately redefining words and just putting my own, because, like, if the world says it's this, like, why does my favorite one that I've been working on most currently is success. That's been my most favorite word to totally redefine, because for myself, I got stuck chasing the worldly view of success, and it leaves you empty.
It really does.
And so when it comes to selfishness or being selfish, you can chase that worldly version, or we can define it as what it can mean for us, which is filling your cup first.
Yep.
And so you found scheduling your workouts, planning them with Katie, helps not only you, but also then helps her.
Yep.
And then you guys can help hold each other accountable, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. What about nutritionally? How do you guys do with that?
That one's a little more difficult.
To be honest with you.
Sure.
It takes a lot more effort into planning.
Yeah.
Because obviously we want to eat as healthy as we can.
Yep.
Having kids that are under the age of 15 and under the age of 5 can be a little more difficult.
Yes.
But I think you also have to recognize too that they are still kids. They can still have, those little bit of treats here and there.
Yep.
It definitely takes a lot more self-preservation to know, hey, those kids are having that treat. I probably shouldn't have that.
Yeah.
But if I do decide to have it, I'm not going to eat the whole bag of Oreos.
Yep.
I will have one or two, and then that will be it.
Yep.
And then I'll go hide that Oreo box inside the shelf so I don't see it again and get tempted by it.
A tip that I used to talk with our clients about when I was doing more of like the nutritional coaching, I would always help them come up with this tip of creating a cupboard that was off limits to them.
Yep.
And if you can take because a lot of times we tend to not do this on purpose, but next thing you know, our cupboards, they end up having all these unhealthy items kind of all over. Like the cereal is in this cupboard and the chips are in that cupboard and the snacks are in this cupboard. And so it's like every time you open a cupboard, there's always something that's unhealthy tempting you in that cupboard as well.
Yep.
So if you look at kind of your living situation at your house and you're like, okay, let's clear all of the unhealthy temptations and put them all in one cupboard, then that way when you have to open up whatever cupboard to get whatever it is, you don't have that temptation staring you in the eye. And I think that, really can help too with kids, because you put their snacks next to your also the chips and all the stuff that you would have as well, but you put it all in one cupboard.
Yep.
And you don't go into it unless it's time to,
have a snack.
Yep. Yeah.
That's what we've done so far. I've actually consolidated like all of these sweet treats onto one shelf on the tallest shelf inside that cabinet.
Sure.
So it's the most work to get to, and it's the least tempting to see.
Yeah, I love that. So that's a great tip for anyone watching or listening. Take those temptations and get them out of sight, out of mind, so that you can have more healthy items more readily available.
Yep, exactly.
And they're out there. They are. You just have to start looking for them and finding them, and then, try the ones out that are going to best help you on your nutritional journey. Cool. Let's kind of transition a bit here into you as a coach. So you're a coach. You help run these sessions. You keep the energy up. You meet with clients. What would you say is your favorite part about being a coach?
Oh, I love, and a lot of my clients will say this too, I love to push people.
Yeah.
I love to break that mental barrier that someone thinks, this is as hard as I can go.
Yeah.
I hit that next gear for them, or I motivate them to hit that next gear. They go faster, they go harder, they push themselves just a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, I can do that. I can go move a little bit faster. I can move that little bit heavier weight.
Yeah.
And building those slow transitions upward either speed, agility, or strength, or even just in holding a low plank position just for 5 seconds longer. It's like, I'm getting better. And it shows that these clients are progressing. They are making those results. And they're just, working towards those goals.
Yeah. That is the best thing ever. Sometimes you'll get a different answer from a coach, but a lot of times it is seeing the client progress. There's many industries that are industries where you get more fulfillment out of other people's success. And we definitely work in one of those industries as well, where we can be having just a rough day. But when all of a sudden we get a message from a client, or we meet with the client, or a client walks in and shares a win with us, it can take that hard day. Because the truth is, you guys, and those of you watching and listening, we all know this. Outside of the four walls that we're at right now, life is difficult. Life is difficult. And there's so many things trying to weigh us down. And so you never know what someone's going through. But as a coach, we do our best to leave what might be weighing us down, leave it on the line. And we step into that coach position so that we can make sure that we can help our clients and help them carry whatever maybe burden that they have. But so we can be going through these tough days, and all of a sudden a coach or a client comes in and just shares a win, or we see them progress. Makes it all worth it.
Oh, absolutely.
Because also too, coaching, early mornings, late evenings, not the most desirable of a schedule.
No, not some days.
No, on a lot of days it's now. I mean, let's be honest. Thankfully for you, living as close as you do to West, you have a little bit of a upper hand on me. But it is my fault. I moved over to the East side. So when I have to coach at the West location, I have to plan it, I have to schedule it, I have to put it in my calendar, I have to make sure my truck's full of gas, I got to make sure that my tires are full of air, because it's a trip, it's a road trip.
It is.
I mean, it's not that bad, but it is about 25, 30 minutes to get over there.
It's a minute.
And it's more than a minute. But so if we have to be there, first session's at 5:15, we're getting up like before 4. To get ready, to get going and get over there. And that's early, man. So how do you deal with that? Because, I mean, you worked kind of more in like the construction field before this. Were they also similar hours or no?
No. We were usually running from about 7 to 4 each day.
Okay. So that's a transition.
Completely backwards from what I'm doing now.
How is that then?
Thankfully enough, I did a lot of my workouts either early in the morning or late in the evening. So it was a good transition. But I've learned that I need an hour to wake up in the mornings. So instead of waking up at say 4 o'clock to go, or say in my past job, I would wake up half an hour early, get dressed, go to work. Totally skip breakfast, totally just not be ready to go for the day. I now know that I have to have a little more preparation before I come in and help all these people. I will wake up an hour and a half before I have to be there, so I know that I'm awake, I am prepared for the day, I'm prepared to help all these people out.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you adjust your schedule, and then you go and you put in the work. So you kind of said your favorite part about coaching. As we think of Fit Body and the new roles that you're stepping into, HR, finance, and taking on more responsibilities, but not getting more time to get it all done, what is something that you're looking forward to for the future of Fit Body? Like what are you looking forward to with our company?
I would say probably I've thought about that.
Yeah, because it's one of those things, a lot of times, again, we're so busy living in the now that, again, it does take time to look and plan kind of the future that you're after, and then going and making it happen. So you're taking on the HR and finance. I mean, it's been a big transition, but you've been doing great with that. I think for me, one of the things that I've really been enjoying while working with you and the leadership team, we've just embarked on this new journey, going through from scratch the EOS process. And I have been in EOS, for any of you that maybe don't know what that is, it stands for Entrepreneurial Operating System. And it really gives us a structure so that we can run our business effectively and efficiently. And so that we're all not just running around doing all the same things.
You're right.
And so I've been really having fun just breaking it down to why did we start this thing? How can we make it better? How can we be one of the things that EOS is having us do right now, which got to give a shout out to our implementer, Micah Bruns. Big shout out to you. He's been helping us tremendously. But he had us read the book Good to Great. And so I've read through that book. And one of the things that I love about it is it's like, if you can't be the best at it, why are you doing it?
Right.
And so I've been really looking at our business through the lens of like, what can we literally be the best at? And what are we maybe doing right now that we're good at, but we maybe shouldn't be doing it because we can't be the best at it?
Yeah.
And so that's been super fun. And I've been loving having a sounding board and different ideas or perspectives of my ideas, because for any of you that know me, I can have a lot of ideas. I can have a lot of different things that maybe I think we can be the best at. But having someone on the team like you and Vicky and Jensen that can keep me in line, and all the rest of our team as well, they do a great job of just helping keep me in line. But it's been fun just figuring out how can we make this thing the best possible for our clients.
I think that's probably the honest, now you say it now, I think it's probably the thing I'm most excited for is really getting better, like for our team, so we can be the best team for those clients out there. And that way we can help as many people as we can. And then just make Sioux Falls a better community overall.
100%. And the thing I love about how tight our team is, and even how tight it's going to, even more tight it's going to become, is that when you start with FitBody, you don't just get one coach.
No.
You get a team of coaches. And knowing our team, if a client needs something, we will figure out how to help that client do it, or achieve whatever it is that they're after. And my thing is, like, I used to say this, I haven't said it in actually a long time, so you probably have actually never heard it, but I used to say when I'd be in meetings with clients is like, I want to replace Google for everything health and fitness in your life. And so I haven't said that in a long time, but like when our clients come to us, I like so many times we have these random questions, and now it's probably Siri and Alexa and all the different things that you can ask.
Right.
But it used to just be Google, okay? But when something pops up, you Google it. And then the next thing that happens is you get 100 different answers to that same thing. And so I've always loved that. And I guess I don't know why I stopped saying that, but if we can really look at us as the resource for our clients to replace Google as it pertains to their health and fitness, like, who wouldn't want that? A team that they can come to with any health or fitness related question, and we are going to figure out the best answer for them. Not the most highest searched answer, or not the best answer according to the algorithm, the one that's going to be the best for them. And so it's just been awesome. Jason, I think we could honestly talk probably all day.
Probably could.
But we know that those that are watching or listening, they probably have other things to do, especially on July 4th. Like if you're sitting actually listening to this on July 4th, go light a firecracker or something. Okay, July 4th, what's your favorite firework?
Oh, man. I don't think, technically it's not a manufactured. You actually make it yourself. You ever heard of Sparkler Bomb?
No. What is this? Maybe we shouldn't talk about this on the air.
I will give a brief description.
Okay.
It is a bunch of sparklers combined together. Then there's one just sticking up. You light that one, and it's pretty much like a mini explosion.
I feel like that's not safe.
It's not safe. I would not recommend doing it. But it is my favorite one.
Okay. So it's our favorite, but we don't recommend it.
Yeah, definitely don't try it.
Got it. Okay. I love that. I'd have to say that mine would be the Roman candle. Again, not for the safest of reasons, but I can remember as a child, my parents live on 20 acres. And you've never been to my parents' house?
I have not yet.
No, we'll have to go out there sometime. They live on 20 acres, and we had four-wheelers growing up. And I can remember we made, and it was one of my cousins showed me this, but PVC piping, and you make like these Roman candle guns that you can put the Roman candle in. But then we would take turns being the target, and we would put a full face mask helmet on.
Oh, so there was some safety.
There was some
That's
safety,
good.
a little bit, but that was it. And then we would go ride the four-wheeler out through the field, and then we'd have a couple of us that would have the Roman candle guns, and we would shoot it at the person driving the. I mean, not safe at all.
Not at all.
Probably stupid.
You probably don't do that anymore, though, right?
It has been a while, but I might do it later today.
Okay.
just saying. But I think there's something about that. You can't put guys that somehow ended up adults that are still children, which I kind of would place you and I both in that category.
Absolutely.
Like we're living an adult life, but we're still children. You can't put us around all these fireworks and not expect.
And not to like push those limits of safety.
You have to. So, but anyways, let's reel this thing back in. What would you say for anyone watching, listening? What would be your biggest or best kind of tip as it pertains to their health, their fitness, that they could take away from this episode and be like, man, I can do that. If there's one thing that I'm going to go do, I'm going to go do that.
Be obsessed with your own success.
Yeah.
That is, it's a big thing to think about, but if you change up that mindset and realize that you are capable and you are able to do these things, you will be able to succeed way more than you've ever even expected to do.
Yeah. I love that answer. And it's redefining selfish. Mm-hmm. It's understanding that you don't have to not be selfish. You actually need to be
a little
selfish.
Yeah.
So that you can reach those goals that you have, so that you can go out there, you can be a better mom, you can be a better dad, you can be a better friend, you can be a better parent, and the list goes on.
Yeah, absolutely does.
Well, hey, Jason, thank you so much for taking the time. I think this is awesome. You guys, if you got any value from this, and also too, if you are one of the clients that Jason gets to work out on the regular, be the coach for, comment down below just something that you took away from this episode, because there's some stuff that I learned about you in this episode, and I can almost guarantee you that when you're coaching the clients and you're interacting with the clients, you're not talking about your failed marriage or your failed father, or all these things that you shared on the show today. Yeah. So I just want to also say thank you for being vulnerable. Mm-hmm. I think to the level in which we can be vulnerable with others, the level we can connect with others, and then the level that we can change others. Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for that. But you guys, comment down below. We can get you guys, if you're not a client of ours and you want to check it out, we can get you a free week. We have a new promotion trial going on right now. So if you go to 605fitbody.com, you can check both of those out, either a free week or the new trial. But other than that, you can catch Jason at our West Side location.
Let's go.
Sometimes at our Central location, but mainly at the West Side. You guys, hey, have an awesome day. Jason, thank you for being here today, my man. I appreciate it. And we will catch you guys on the next episode of Fit and Healthy Sioux Falls. Bye, you guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Peace.